in the United States is at least interested in the subject.
That is fascinating. And from what I read, he's published 2 of them, and I would love to read those. But I'm most interested in his claim that he has an unpublished book. And I'm paraphrasing the title here because I'm only going from memory.
Right.
I believe his unpublished book is titled Bigfoot Mating Rituals and Why Women Want Them.
I read that too. I could not believe it, but I'll tell you what, there will be a rush to publish that, I'm sure, right now.
Well, I hope so, but I also hope that, the Bigfoot erotica fetish does not get mixed up with white supremacy, which it kind of is in this news story. White supremacists, that's not a good thing. But also, Bigfoot fetishists, we all have a kink. Some kinks are a bit wilder than others. But for the most part, they're not white supremacists.
Yeah, you would not think so. And by the way, I wanted to give a little plug to the famous song and video that you created called Biggie Got Foot. I think that is just a fantastic song. You want to tell the audience about that song and the music video and how they might be able to catch that on the internet.
Of course. So about a year and a half ago, I started conceiving of this idea of rewriting Sir Mix-a-Lot's song "Baby Got Back," so it's about Sasquatch. I like Bigfoot, and I cannot lie. That's kind of how it starts, and it just started off as kind of a gag, but then I ended up rewriting the entire song and getting a musical producer to help me, and then we got an entire film crew together, spent a bunch of money on props and costumes. And we eventually filmed a professional music video of this Bigfoot song. And Bobo from Finding Bigfoot shared the song and told his fans that it was the greatest Bigfoot music video ever made.
Oh, my gosh. That's Bobo Fay, ladies and gentlemen, from Finding Bigfoot, the Animal Planet television series that went 10 seasons. Actually ran across Vince's song and is kind of a big fan of Biggie Got Foot. The actual production value on that music video is very well done. Who actually did or played the music for you on the video?
So what I did was I found so Sir Mix-a-Lot. He's an early '90s rapper. And back in the day, you would buy a CD single of the hit song, but it would also include just an instrumental track that you could practice and rap along yourself to. So I found that track on YouTube, and I downloaded it, and basically I just learned to rap over it, and we ended up kind of using that as the first version of it. But then eventually, a good friend of mine from Olympia kind of recreated kind of the elements of it and produced it for me.
Yeah, and gosh, the costumes for the Bigfoot is pretty impressive, actually. And, of course, you've got some lovely ladies dressed a little scantily there in the video as well, just to add a little spice. But I tell you
Michael,
what...
that's what you need in a rap video.
Exactly. But I tell you what, the quality of the song was just awesome. So I just wanted to give you kudos for your Biggie Got Foot, and hopefully people will... Where can they watch this if they wanted to check it out?
Well, they should go to pacificnorthweird.com, and that links directly to our YouTube page, and look for the video called Biggie Got Foot. And it is also at the tail end of our full-length episode on Bigfoot called Bigfoot Northwest Idol, where we interview Cliff Barrickman from Finding Bigfoot, Bobcat Goldthwait, the famous old comedian from the Police Academy era. He's a really big Bigfoot fan. We interview all kinds of really interesting people, and then we end the episode with the music video itself.
And Pacific North Weird, you might want to explain to the worldwide audience out there exactly what kind of a television production this is, because they might want to check out some of the other episodes, I'm sure.
Sure. So Pacific North Weird, it's made up from a bunch of people who grew up in the Northwest, and we chronicle and do fun documentary stories on all kinds of strange, weird things in the Pacific Northwest. We have a very rich UFO history here. We've got the Sasquatch phenomenon, of course, plenty of haunted places, strange roadside attractions, creepy urban legends, all kinds of really interesting things that make, I think, the Pacific Northwest one of the most unique places in the world. Pacific North Weird is a show that celebrates that, and we celebrate it in all kinds of ways. We do music videos, we do skits, we do straight-on serious documentaries. It's basically like a true variety show for the YouTube era.
And I would kind of class it as something like almost live for the paranormal, let's put it that way, or Saturday Night Live for the paranormal, because its quality is great, the production value is awesome, and of course all the people that are involved, like yourself, Vince, and your castmates are really professional as well. So good job with Pacific North Weird.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Well, again, we want to thank Vince Inunza. Did I get that one right? Inzunza. I gotta make sure I get that first N in there. Inzunza, for joining us again for our Pacific North Weird paranormal update again on Night Dreams Talk Radio events. We will check in with you later again, of course, whenever we can, just to get caught up on some of these weird and wonderful stories that you are able to dredge up out of even the mainstream news nowadays.
I have a great time on your show, Michael. I look forward to it.
All right, buddy. Thanks so much. We will talk to you again.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Hey, Mike.
Well, look who's here. Gosh, this is going to be an exciting show here. We now have on the line Michelyn Gjurasic, a good friend of mine, but also a scientific hand analyst. And I just love that title, Michelyn. Tell me how that thing came about.
I'd be happy to, Michael. It's great to be on this show. Thanks for having me. Scientific is not usually a word that people think of when they think about hand analysts. It's usually more associated with predictive, palmistry, fortune-telling, gypsies, and those kinds of things, and there's a reason for that. But what I do is a completely different system that actually has an objective, repeatable database of information from the hands, and I can look at the markers in your hands and talk to you about your patterns, your style, and all kinds of fun stuff.
Man, that's for sure. So the idea is that you're not a palm reader. You are using repeatable scientific evidence that will tell you information about our hands or other people's hands. Is that right?
That's right. You can call me a palm reader. Just know that I don't have to have psychic abilities to do what I do. I don't have to try to tell the future. I can't tell you how long you're going to live, how many children you're going to have, or anything like that. It's not a predictive science. It's in fact they've done studies on corpses, if you can believe that. And
really?
they've looked at the length of the lifeline, which is one of the major lines in the hands, and they've tried to correlate that with the age of the person when they died, and there was absolutely no correlation.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, but they call it a lifeline. Which line on your hand would be your lifeline if we were describing this over the radio?
Well, there are, if you look at the palm of your hand, most people have three major lines that they can easily see. And one of them starts just above the base of the thumb on the pointer finger side of the hand, and it kind of runs down in a very kind of a roundish shape down towards the wrist.
Got it.
So it's the lowest of the three major lines in the hand, and that's the lifeline. And people think that might be associated with how long they live. But the truth is it's more associated with how you live. How much energy do you have in your life? How much gusto and vim and vigor do you bring to your life? And how grounded are you? How do you relate to your family and your tribe? So very, really important sort of basic structures of your life and basic patterns in your life related to family and energy and groundedness.
All right. Well, before we go on to some of the other aspects of the various lines, let's kind of drill down on this one for a second. If for some reason somebody was able to look at their lifeline, what are they going to look for to kind of discern what is there, or can you tell generally?
They're going to look for the qualities of the line. Is it strong and clear and true? Is it broken? Is it faint? Does it peter out at the bottom? How does it look? And then some of those adjectives that I just described to it, you can apply to your own energy or to your own tribal relationships, your own relationship with your family. And does that sound true? Do you have a really long, clear, solid lifeline? Well, then I would talk to you about long, clear, solid relationships in family and how you relate to them, how you feel about them, what kind of work that you do, your energy systems, those kinds of things.
Yes. And that is fascinating to think that can be scientifically correlated. Is that what you're saying?
Well, there are lots and lots of studies that have been done about correlation with, medical type of information and what's in the hand. I'm not a medical practitioner, so I don't talk about medical conditions, but we do know that there are more connections between the brain and the hands than any other part of the body. Except the stomach, right? That's important. Or eating, but the brain and the hand are very intimately connected in humans, and so the patterns that we have in our brain, our patterns of thought, are somehow echoed and repeated in our hands. So looking at hands, I can talk to you about sort of how your brain works, what your patterns are, what your strengths are, maybe even some of your challenges. And I'm looking at your lifeline right now, Michael, because I've got your prints in front of me.
Oh boy, am I in trouble now? Well, you can use me as a reference for any of this stuff that's going on tonight as we talk, because that would be fascinating for me anyway. But before we get into the details there, I'm thinking, do you have the ability as a scientific... First of all, what's the title? What do they call you? A scientific hand analyst? Or what would people normally look up if they want to get some information on this?
Yes, they could look that up. They could look up handanalysis.net, which is the home of the International Institute of Hand Analysis, which teaches classes worldwide on this system, developed by Richard Unger. They can go to my website, Michelyn.com, and find more information there and links. And yeah, I'm called a hand analyst. I say that because it's a little different connotation than a palm reader. I'm a palm reader as well, but I'm not predictive, and you don't have to be psychic to do it. So I like to differentiate myself by saying I'm a scientific hand analyst. People go, what? What does that mean? How are you different? Do you do handwriting analysis?
Right.
No, that's not it. No, it's the lines and patterns of the hands. So totally different thing.
Now let's do this. Let's spell Michelyn so they can find Michelyn.com when they try to find